um, stream until now, but it put me back on, high quality this, and so hopefully you're still getting a good, you're not getting any lag or any load times. If you do, just let me know, and I'll just bring down the settings for the open broadcaster. All right, so a couple of the things that I wanted to do today was talk about this photogrammetry thing. I'm hoping I'm saying it right, and it's um, it's something that I'm actually quite excited about because I really like the way things come out of it. So I'm just gonna show you. I use Autodesk 123D Catch, and here's what you get. And you can see that all these little cameras are just how the photos were taken. So this was actually the first one that we shot, this lion head, and I think I saw it once, and they were explaining on about how to take the photos. So I just thought, okay, let's try it. So yeah, definitely not the most perfect setup, but it worked out perfect. So to do this, it's actually really easy. You can see the photos here at the bottom. Um, you can just whenever you want to create a capture, and it's gonna bring me out of my old one. It's probably not the best way to do it, but so quickly just log in. This is a paid subscription, so I can do um, I can sell these on thinking of doing it on Turbo Squid. So hopefully it's going to work out. But here are my photos. So 1 to 3D Catch only takes 70 photos maximum. So make sure you choose right, I would say. We had quite a few photos taken at kind of at a front level. So that's you'll see that the texture from the front looks really good. From top and bottom, not so good. Overall, it looks. I'm thrilled how good it looks, and it probably saved a good hours worth of modeling. And being that I'm not a pro at modeling, or I mean more like that sculpting, I don't really know how to do it, or I haven't tried it a lot. It probably saved at least half a day, if not even more. So this once you selected the photos, you can just what's gonna happen? They get uploaded to probably one of the Autodesk servers, and they get processed there. So, like I said, if you plan on using what comes out of this for a commercial purpose, I would suggest you get the license, which is goes by yearly or every 2 years. I'm not sure if there's um, an open software for this, but considering how good this comes out for quality, this is what I'm sticking with. So I'm just gonna reopen my old one, and since it's pretty image intensive, it might take a while, or probably a minute or so, and so I'm just gonna put this aside. Oh, there you go. It was pretty quick this time. So you can just use the maneuvering tools to get a better view at this. This way you can tell. Like, see, I can tell that the top of it is not so great, but again, it's not going to be a centerpiece, so I'm not too concerned with it. So next, you can just export capture as, and what I do, I use OBJ for for um, um, so I can import it into Blender. So I'm just gonna quickly see where I want to export this, and I've already done it, and it's right there. So now I'm just gonna go into Blender, and from here, I've already done this, so I'm just gonna show you what I do for this. I'm gonna import the wavefront object, and let's see, where did I put it? It's right here. So these, what they do, they come off with as high poly object. So I'm just gonna take the cube out and place this a little better. As you can tell, most of the times they're probably not perfectly aligned, so it's all in how you take the photos. Alright, so the first thing that I'm going to do is do a little bit of a cleanup on this mesh. I just have a lot of geometry I don't need, so I'm just going to go ahead and select that and this, and I can probably go a little wider with this. I only want the head. I mean, the rest of it is probably some decent geometry, but I don't really have anything where to put it right now. So alright, so once that is selected, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to delete the vertices, and there's still quite a lot of weird geometry, but I'm not too concerned about that. Okay, so what I'm going to try and do is actually just place this a little better. As you can see, there's like a little bit of an issue here. This could be adjusted by just painting the surface. So I'm going to rotate around the z-axis, just kind of place it a little facing forward, because this is how I'm going to export it to the engine, and I just want it to be nicely placed before I do that. Okay, so just going to copy this, move it to a different layer, and on this layer, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a decimate modifier. As you can tell right now, I have quite too much of a geometry for this. So I'm going to do probably a 0.05 and see. This is taking me down to 5,000 vertices, faces. So I'm going to go probably to a 0.02. Let's see how that goes. Alright, so that's 2,000, that's better. And I'm going to hit apply. Alright, so in here I'm going to continue on with some of my vertices cleanup. I'm just doing a Alt Shift and right click so I can select along these edges and some of the connected vertices. Okay, I don't need to be very exact, at least not with the margin, but I'm trying to be. Alright, let's see, maybe this is gonna make it a little faster. Alright, I'm almost there. One of the things you can do is select it like this, and then if you do Control plus, it's going to start going inward. So with this, I'm probably going too much. I'm going to delete these vertices. I'm going to continue selecting some of these outer ones that I'm not going to need. So one of the things with this is that, yes, you don't get extremely well defined topology, but if I get within a polygon count that I'm happy with, that's going to be okay. So it's gonna work for me. And you might want to spend the time to do a proper topology, with quads and so on. I mean, bottom line, they're all gonna get triangulated at the end. But if you feel that it might be better for you to do it that way, then by all means. Alright, so I think I went a little bit too far with that one, or maybe not. That was good. Alright, so one of the things that's really nice about this is that the textures are already there. So once I'm done cleaning this up, and one of the things that I wanted to do is, well, once I bake all the textures, is I'm gonna make this I'm gonna make this edge join properly, and so I'm gonna delete this vertex here. Alright, so once I'm done, I'm gonna scale on the x-axis to 0, so this whole selection is gonna be flat. Alright, so I was talking about textures. Let's go to layer 1. I'm just going to bring in a couple more. I'm going to duplicate this light, and then go into texture mode. So as you can see, the textures are already there, and the only thing that you need to do, and of course there's our little issue that's over here, and this can be painted over. So the only thing that you need to do right now is paint the textures. Bake the textures, sorry. We're going to layer 2, and see, even on the low poly, this is already looking pretty good, even though it's stretched in some points. So that's why I'm gonna try and do the bake. Okay, so I'm gonna try and I'm gonna place some seams on this, and I'm gonna try starting off this way. Just hopefully it's gonna help spread the model out a little bit, and maybe get rid of some stretching. I'm really a beginner when it comes to unwrapping some of these organic shapes. Hopefully I'm using the term organic correctly. Alright, so this is gonna mark a seam, and pull up my UV editor window, and let's do, as you can tell, this is the unwrap that came from 123D Catch. So I want this to take as much space as possible. Okay, so now make sure you have both layers visible. Select the high poly and the low poly, and I'm going to create a new image, and this is going to be color, and let's make this 2K texture. And do I want to do a 4K? Let's try a 4K, and then we're going to downsize it to 2K in Photoshop. Okay, I'm hoping this is I'm going to do Control P just to make sure it takes as much space as it can. So we'll see how if I did the seams properly. Alright, so once you go to your bake panel, and you're going to bake textures, make sure you have selected to active selected, and hit bake.